I would like to welcome you to Lesson 5, and in this particular lesson, you won't see my face because I'd like to focus on some apps and applications that are useful on the iPads for differentiated instruction. Of course, we know that this particular course has 7 lessons. You're currently on Lesson 5, entitled Using iPads for Differentiated Instruction. We know what differentiated instruction is. That's applying lesson plans to the different needs of students in your course. So, for instance, you may have a gifted student, you may have an English language learner, you may have a special needs student, or you may have certain students that have different styles of learning. Differentiated instruction is being able to address the needs of these different students. And I would just like to show you in a very clear fashion how to use these 5 tools for differentiated learning: AirDrop, Google Translate, Guided Access, Infused Learning, and Graphic Organizers. I'm going to go over this somewhat quickly, so don't worry if you don't catch everything. It will be explained, and I'll add videos in the reading section. So just go ahead and sit back and watch for a second. What I'd like to do is go ahead and show my particular iPad, and for a second, just be the student that's in the classroom, and let me be the teacher. So let's say we have a 5th grade class. If you don't mind, as you're listening to this, put yourself in the shoes of a 5th grader. I walk in and I say, you know what, class, we're going to do something a little bit different. At the bottom, and you can see where my mouth is circling, there is something on your iPad called Drawing Desk. I would like you to go ahead and click on that. And before we actually get into our lesson, what I would like to do is just let people get some steam out a little bit. Some of you have rushed here. Some of you may have not even eaten breakfast. You're a little bit ornery. And I'd like you to get some energy out, your juices flowing. Let's do something fun to begin. I'm going to click Doodle Desk. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on, let's see, at the top, there's a brush. It looks like this particular app has some kind of advertisements at the top there. Let's ignore those for right now. And then let's go ahead and draw something. In fact, draw how you feel this morning, okay? So let's say there's Bobby. He's sitting in the audience. He's a 5th grader. And he just goes ahead and he clicks on the brush, clicks on a color at the bottom, let's say purple, and then he just draws a little bit how he feels. And just doing that kind of makes him feel a little bit better, a little bit of self-expression. Okay, that's an app that you can download. It's basically called Drawing Desk. Okay, now let's get into our lessons. Go ahead and you're the teacher now, you're the professional. Let's switch back from your being a 5th grader back to being a professional. I would like you to look at these particular 5 ways to actually do differentiated instruction. First, let's talk about AirDrop. I'm going to go ahead and take my iPad, put it in portrait mode. I'm going to push up from the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is, you'll notice here where my mouse is circling is something called AirDrop. AirDrop allows you to share what is on your iPad on your student's iPad. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and say what you're looking at now is your student's iPad. Let's put your iPad up. Of course, right now I'm going to just use my iPhone. And so let's see if I can get my iPhone up. iPhone that I have has iOS 7, which has AirDrop. Older versions of iOS do not have AirDrop. So you'll need probably iOS 7 or greater. Then I'll go ahead and let me share this iPhone that I have. I'm going to mirror it. And so you see it there. Now, if you want to share something, now again, you're the instructor and you're on the left. Let's say you want to share a picture. Well, let's go to camera at the top right. Again, it's the left, so I click on camera. And then what I'd like to do is I would like to go ahead and share a picture. Okay, it's hard to see, but at the bottom left, there's a picture. Here, I'll use my mouse. Right here, there's a picture. See that picture? I want to share that. So if I click on that, basically, it comes up on my iPhone. Okay, what I'd like to show you is, in order to share it, you have to hit a share button. And the share button look something like this. Let me go ahead and get out of full screen mode here. I'll go done. And let me, actually I'm going to go to notes because this might be a little bit easier. Look at the bottom left, this little icon, it means share. And when you click on that, this time I'm not sharing a picture, I'm sharing notes. You click on that, you'll see something that comes up called AirDrop. And notice what just popped up. It's the student's iPad, which is on the right. Now, there is a procedure for you to basically name the different iPads. I won't get in that in this demonstration, but I can talk about that in the actual reading portion. But Wise iPad, which is, if you look at my mouse, circling right here, it is the name of this iPad over here. So if I want to share something, I go ahead and click on that. And what it does is it prompts a message on the student's machine to accept. They can click accept, so your eye should be on the right iPad now. Click accept, and then they see exactly what you see. So I have just shared my notes to a particular student. Now, how would you use this in differentiated instruction? One way to use it is, let's say you have a Spanish speaker and they're in your class, they're new, they don't understand the word flag. So what you do is, if they're from Mexico, you go ahead and get a picture of the Mexican flag, and then you share it with their iPad, and you say that's a flag. So this is a very easy way to actually share information with others. Now let's go to Google Translate, number 2. So Google Translate, right now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and take my iPhone, and I'm going to pull out of the mirroring, and we'll just focus now just on the iPad. So right here, there's Safari. This will be a little fast. I'll click on Safari, and you can type in at the top there, translate.google.com. Then what you can do is there's 2 pull-down bars. Each of these pull-down bars on the left and on the right have a particular language. So you can actually set both to English if you want. Let's do the left English, right English, and we're just going to focus completely on English. And let's say there's a word like flag that you want to teach your students. Obviously this is for a younger group. Maybe for an older group it's pneumonia, metamorphosis, circulatory system, photosynthesis. But for a younger group, let's just do flag. So then you hit the blue arrow to the right. Let me cause my mouse to circle. Blue arrow to the right. And then what it does is it brings up a little speaker. And so you can click on that and it would say something. Or what you can do is you can take your finger and put it right on top of the flag as I'm doing. And if you hold it there, eventually what will happen is a little circle will appear. Let me go ahead and do it again. See how a little circle appears when you hold it over? Then when you let go, it allows you to select it. Then when you select it, notice one of the options there is cut, copy, replace, define, and speak. You can click on define, and basically a definition pops up. You know, not only can you do this on Google Translate, you can do this on a newspaper. So you could bring up SeattleTimes.com, the Chicago Tribune, New York Times, and you can press on a word that they don't understand and help them define it. Now, let's say you do have a Spanish speaker in your class, and what you can do is translate it for them by, in the second column, go ahead and select Spanish. So we'll scroll on down, click on Spanish, and then we'll go ahead and click on the blue arrow. I'll circle it right here, blue arrow right here. And then you get the word, bandera. And so this is a great way you can basically translate into different languages. The last 2 things are, the last 3 things are guided access, infused learning, and graphic organizers. Okay, let me show you guided access. This is actually a really nice feature, particularly if you have students who keep getting distracted by going to other applications. So let's say you want everyone to be in Notes. But your kids, they keep hitting on the home button, and they go and they click on something else, and they're in an entire different application. Or they're jumping around and they're taking pictures of things, pictures of one another. There's my glasses right there. There's my laptop right there. They're clicking, and you don't want them to do that. So basically what you can do is you can do this. You go to Settings. Okay, where's Settings? Settings is right here. You click on Settings. After you've clicked on Settings, you look for General, and you'll see General is already selected. Then you click on Accessibility right here. Accessibility. And then if you go down, you'll notice there's Guided Access, and you can turn that on. And as long as there's that green button here, see, if I click the green button at the top right here, it goes off. But to turn it on, you touch it again, and then you can set a passcode. And we'll just type in 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't give your students the passcode. Then what you could do is, if you're trying to work in something like Notes, and you're having them type away, and some students keep clicking the home button and they're getting distracted, what you can do is you can walk over to them and you say, I'd like to see your iPad, in a kind way. Say, we're having a great time, aren't we? But I need you to focus in Notes. So you click on Notes, and then what you do is you click the home button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And notice in the center, Guided Access Started appears. Now, you don't see this, but if I click Home, look at the top. It says Guided Access is enabled. So when the student tries to get out of this application, they can't. They have to stay in this application. The only way to get out of this application is to hit the home button 3 times again. That's this button right here. Let me circle it. See my mouse at the bottom. Hit this 3 times really quickly. 1, 2, 3. It brings up a passcode that only you know. You type in 1, 2, 3, 4. It takes it out of Guided Access mode, and now the student can go ahead and click the home button and go back to other applications. It's a great feature, particularly for those students who get distracted by the iPad. Okay, let's go to Infuse Learning. Infuse Learning is a great little tool. I'm going to go ahead and start out actually by going to the website. And so you can go to teacher.infuselearning.com. And you'll probably want to start out by just looking at the video at infuselearning.com. But once you get there, go ahead and register. And then once you register, type in your email and your password. And what this great tool does is it allows you to set up an online response system so that, now get this, this is awesome. Not only after you teach a concept can you quickly have people on their iPads determine if they understand the concept, you can have students who are too afraid to raise their hand and ask questions. Ask a question directly to you through the iPad while no one else knows. So for instance, on the left side, there are different ways you can set up for responses. And I'm just going to put open-ended text answer. I'll put details. We'll go ahead and click on Save Results. And this will be a little question. If you did not understand what I just said or explained, please type explain again. And then you click Save Results. Then what you can do is you can go to your students who are holding the iPad and you tell them to go to Safari, the browser, and you ask them to type in at the top student.infuselearning.com. Go ahead and take a look really closely what I typed in. I know it's small. You may have to enlarge your screen. I'm going to click Go. They actually see 2 text boxes, Room ID and your name. Okay, what's my room ID? It's up here in the top left, 67652. So I'll go ahead and in the iPad type in 67652, and let's say I'm Bobby. I type in Bobby, Bobby, and let's say I'm a little bit embarrassed, but I talked to the teacher, and I said, you know what? I don't even want to type in my full name because I'm so embarrassed to ask questions. I'm just going to be called B2, okay? So when you see B2, you'll know it's me, okay? Great. Bobby clicks submit, and basically, once they enter, they see the text box at the top, and they can type explain again. And they click submit. And then what you see in the website is you see Bobby appeared. It says B2 and it says explain again. So you basically, by this website, are able to get feedback from students in a great way. I don't have time to show this, but you could give a math question and a concept, explain it, and then afterwards write on the board a sample question with an A, B, C, D, E option. Only one of the options is right, and you have all the students take out pencil and paper and try and get the answer and basically bubble in A, B, C, D, or E on their iPad, and you can see instantaneously what percentage of your class actually got the concept. It's an outstanding tool. Okay, last but not least, let's go to graphic organizers. This is a great little site. If we go back to the iPad, and I go ahead and go to a site called eduplace.com. You can't see all of this. Let me go landscape. And if you look in the center, here's my mouse. Go ahead and look for my mouse. There's something called the describing wheel. Anyway, these are tons of graphical organizers that are excellent to use for your students. You can have them pull information up. Looks like my battery is running low. And you can have them write it on a paper and organize information. Now let me just say something to you right now as I conclude this lesson. I'm going to go ahead and go back here. And this right here is my particular iPad learning toolkit. So when I forget something, like for instance, I almost forgot exactly how to do the guided access. I just go to here, I look for guided access, and then I see it says go to settings, general accessibility, click on guided access. This is something you can have in your pocket while you're doing the iPads. And whenever you forget something, don't be discouraged. Just tell your class we're all learning together. Refer back to your iPad learning toolkit and then basically retrain yourself and then move forward. You're going to make mistakes. The wireless connection in your room is going to drop. There's going to be someone's iPad that's not charged. You're going to experience all kinds of frustrations with technology. Don't be discouraged. Treat it as an experiment. Even if one day you realize, wow, this was not a great success. I didn't teach them what I wanted to teach. They got too distracted. That's okay. You are making progress in helping them live in a technological society. Great, we'll stop here and I'll see you in lesson 6.